Your mind is your only real possession. Where you place your attention, that is your life. And yet, most of us hand it over to distractions, anxieties, and noise without a second thought. The great Stoic philosopher king Marcus Aurelius believed attention was sacred. He saw the mind as the inner citadel, and he trained like a warrior to guard its gates. In his private journals, known today as Meditations, Marcus wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." You become what you think about, what you dwell on, day after day, year after year. This is why he used the metaphor of the mind as an inner fortress, declaring, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." But like any fortress, the mind requires constant vigilance and defense. Armies of distraction are always at the gates, ready to storm in and occupy your inner sanctum. Attention, then, is how you build your fortress, or let it crumble through neglect. In a world of infinite claims on our attention, how do we decide what truly matters? For Marcus, the answer was clear. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The Stoics believed that only a few things were worth directing our precious attention toward: cultivating virtues like justice, temperance, and courage, fulfilling our duties to family, friends, and society, examining our own thoughts and actions through the lens of reason. Everything else, the obsessions over praise and blame, the addiction to gossip and conflict, the endless striving after wealth and status, was a waste of our finite time and energy. It is not that we have a short time to live, Marcus reminds us, but that we waste a lot of it. To reclaim our attention from life's many distractions, Marcus modeled a practice of daily mental preparation. Each morning, he would tell himself, "Today, I will meet the ungrateful, the arrogant, the deceitful." By preemptively fortifying his mind against the day's inevitable provocations, he could maintain his inner calm and focus. Throughout the day, he strove to stay present and engaged with the task at hand, not lost in fantasies of the future. "Never let the future disturb you," he advised. "You will meet it with the same reason you possess now. Time is short and slipping away. The only moment we ever truly have is this one. Concentrate every minute like a Roman," he exhorted himself, "on doing what's in front of you with precision and grace." Marcus was keenly aware of the many distractions that could fragment our attention if we let them: the allure of sociality and gossip, the pursuit of empty praise, the fantasy of retreating from responsibilities. People seek retreats for themselves in the country, by the sea, or in the mountains, he observed. But this is altogether unphilosophical, when it is possible for you to retreat into yourself at any time you want. Paying attention to the wrong things doesn't just waste our time, it generates inner turbulence and suffering. By letting our focus be yanked around by every passing stimulus and fleeting desire, we surrender our freedom and peace. We become, as Marcus put it, a puppet pulled by the strings of impulse and distraction. For the Stoics, the practice of attention was not just a mental exercise, but a moral imperative. Where we choose to direct our attention shapes our character over time. By constantly focusing on petty or vicious things, we become petty and vicious ourselves. But by attending to truth, virtue, and our duties to others, we sculpt our souls toward wisdom and justice. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be, Marcus wrote. Be one. The implication is clear. How we focus our minds determines the kinds of people we become and the kinds of lives we ultimately lead. Attention is the chisel, and our character is the marble. With each passing day, we carve ourselves into a masterpiece or a ruin. To put these insights into practice, try creating a daily ritual around the discipline of attention. Each morning, ask yourself, what really matters today? What is truly worth focusing on? Whenever you notice your attention starting to drift and scatter throughout the day, pause and ask, am I attending to what is actually mine to control? Is this worth my energy? Each evening, reflect on how well you directed your attention. Ask, where did my mind go today? What occupied my thoughts? Notice what you paid attention to versus what really deserved it in hindsight. Aim for ever greater alignment between your attention and your deepest values. At the same time, practice letting go of your addiction to external outcomes. So much of our attention gets hijacked by an obsession with results that are ultimately beyond our direct control. Marcus counsels us to recenter ourselves on the process, on focusing our efforts on what is truly in our power. Don't let your imagination be crushed by life as a whole. Don't try to picture everything bad that could possibly happen. Stick with the situation at hand. Our attention should be on the present moment, on doing our duties with diligence and integrity. Whether we succeed or fail, whether we're praised or blamed, is ultimately not up to us. What matters is that we act rightly and honorably. The fruits will be what they will be. This focus on the process over the prize is what allowed Marcus to maintain his equanimity and concentration amid the many challenges of his life. As the emperor of Rome, he faced constant threats of war, rebellion, betrayal, and personal loss. It would have been easy for him to get lost in anxiety about all the things that could go wrong. But as he wrote, you can discard most of the junk that clutters your mind and clear out space for yourself by comprehending the scale of the world. By zooming out and taking the cosmic view, we can see that much of what we fret about doesn't really matter in the grand scheme. Our attention is too precious to waste on trivialities. So when you find yourself getting yanked around by your imagination of empty fears, as Marcus put it, pause and refocus your attention on the present moment. Ask yourself, is this something I can actually control? Or am I just tormenting myself needlessly? More often than not, you'll find that what's bothering you is either in the past, the future, or in someone else's hands. All you can control is what you choose to do and think right now. As Marcus reminds us, the tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say or think or do, only what you do. Throughout Meditations, Marcus repeatedly highlights how much suffering and loss we create for ourselves by attending to the wrong things, worrying about what others think of us, giving into anger and resentment, chasing after fleeting pleasures at the expense of our duties and integrity. This is how we desecrate the sanctuary of our minds. It never ceases to amaze me, he writes with dismay. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. So much of our inner distress would be eliminated if we simply focused our attention inward, on living up to our own standards and values, rather than outward on the fickle judgments of the crowd. He also warns against letting the mind get fragmented and overwhelmed by trying to attend to too much at once. If you seek tranquility, do less, because most of what we say and do is not essential. If you can eliminate it, you'll have more time and more tranquility. Ask yourself at every moment, Is this necessary? Attention is a zero-sum game. Every trivial thing we focus on subtracts from what really matters. As the Stoics like to say, there's no free lunch in the universe. Where we invest our attention is where we invest our lives. So how do we build this vital capacity of channeling our attention toward what matters most? The same way we build any mental muscle, through daily exercise and repetition. Marcus's meditations are essentially a record of his own mental workouts, his efforts to focus his thoughts on truth, virtue, and service in the face of endless conflict and distraction. By journaling, he practiced the art of self-reflection and created a space for his mind to engage with timeless principles instead of temporary circumstances. We would do well to adopt a similar ritual. Set aside time each day to pause, reflect, and recenter your mind. Step back from the noise and flux and ground yourself once more in core Stoic precepts. That virtue is the only true good, that other people's behaviors and judgments are not in your control, that every challenge can be met with reason and dignity. This doesn't have to be a major time investment. Even 5 to 10 minutes of journaling, meditating, or reading philosophical wisdom in the morning can work wonders in training your attention for the day ahead. Over time, you'll find your mind is less prone to being startled by the inevitable surprises and provocations that come your way. You'll be able to return to your center more rapidly after each perturbation. Marcus also used Stoic maxims, almost like mantras throughout the day, ready-made tools for refocusing the attention. Erase your imagination, keep your intention pure, be straightforward. He had a quiver of philosophical arrows to shoot at mental distractions. We can prepare a similar toolkit of go-to sayings that reorient us toward what's essential. When we notice our attention starting to get yanked off course, we repeat these precepts to restore our equanimity and purpose. It's like building an internal compass that always points back to true north. Ultimately, the Stoic discipline of attention is about far more than just mental tranquility or effectiveness, as important as those are. It's really about realizing our fullest potential as human beings, about cultivating the qualities of character and conduct that allow us to flourish. By directing our attention continually toward truth, wisdom, justice, courage, temperance, and service, we gradually embody those virtues. We actually become wiser, kinder, stronger, more fulfilled people. We learn to confront life's ups and downs with a stable mind, an open heart, and an indomitable spirit. This, for Marcus, is the point of education and philosophy. Not to become more clever at word games or rhetorical battle, but to become more enlightened and humane. If you didn't learn these things in order to demonstrate them in practice, what did you learn them for? I want to see a constancy of character, a self-respect that is impervious to flattery and provocation alike, a happiness that isn't fragile, but tough and independent of circumstance. In other words, I want to see a soul that has been sculpted by the right use of attention, by the daily choice to focus on what makes us better, not just smarter or richer or more successful in worldly terms. This higher vision of attention is what motivated Marcus to train his inner focus like an Olympian, not just to be a more effective emperor, but to be a more enlightened human being. And that's ultimately what the promise of attention holds for us today. In a world of endless distraction and mental fragmentation, the ability to focus and stay true is nothing short of a superpower. It's the foundation of a life well lived, satisfying in the deepest sense, armored against adversity, and in service of something larger than fleeting desires. As Marcus put it in one of his most powerful reflections, people who labor all their lives but have no purpose are wasting their time, even when hard at work. Any action not directed toward a goal is meaningless. Let us then be purposeful and vigilant with this most precious resource of our minds. Let us strive to be here fully, to attend to what is true and essential, and to become a little bit better, a little bit wiser with each passing day. In doing so, we tap into what is most uniquely human and most timelessly powerful about us. Finally, be intentional about what information and influences you allow into the sacred space of your mind. Curate your inputs like you would a healthy diet, favoring that which nourishes and strengthens over that which intoxicates and degrades. Your attention is a finite resource, so spend it wisely. With practice, the skill of attention becomes a source of remarkable clarity and strength. Even in turbulent times, when everything outside us feels chaotic and conflicted, we can retreat inward and find stillness. We can choose what we focus on and let all else fall away. And in doing so, we can shape ourselves and our experience of life in the most profound way possible. Focus is freedom. But what about the tempests of our emotions? What about the tides of anger, grief, and longing that shake us from that calm center? In the next episode, we'll explore how Marcus Aurelius taught the mastery of our inner emotional lives and how we can use reason not as a cold straitjacket, but as a comforting compass through life's many storms. See you then.